Let's get some insights into what happens in this space as we see the Fed move forward with its first cut in 4 years. Gareth Berry is here. He's an FX strategist at Macquarie. Gareth, whether it's 25 or 50, what do you think this means for currencies as we see that call coming through from the Fed?
Yeah. Hi, Dan. I mean, you're absolutely right to ask about the FX implications. And of course, there will be a knee-jerk reaction depending on the specifics of what is announced tonight. But the trend is unmistakable. It's pretty clear that the Fed is about to embark on a prolonged and multi-month easing cycle, and that means only one possibility for dollar-yen. Over time, dollar-yen is likely to fall. The yen is going to rally against the US dollar in our view. And even though the yen has rallied already 22 big figures over the last 2 months or so, that rally is only halfway done in our view. There's another half to go, and the active Fed easing and further easing over the next 12 months should help to push dollar-yen back down into its natural habitat, which we put at about 110 to 120 against the US dollar.
Okay, 110 to 120. What about the USD, the greenback in general? How will it respond to a 50 over 25 basis point move?
Yeah, we're likely to see broad-based US dollar weakness in the case of the Fed going big and giving us that 50 basis point cut. It's just not our base case, though. We think the Fed will be happy to do 25 and leave it at that and promise, or at least indicate, that a whole series of additional 25 basis point cuts are in the pipeline. And I think that if that scenario plays out, and I think it's very likely that it will, then we could see some US dollar strength, ironically, after that announcement tonight. And over time, with the exception of the yen, we would expect the US dollar to stand its ground, if you like, against other currencies, because other central banks will be cutting too over the next 12 months.
Right. And what are the implications for emerging market currencies as well? Is there anything specific that investors should be watching when we track this move?
Yeah, so once the FOMC announcement itself is out of the way tonight, plus the press conference, I think attention will shift very rapidly towards the forthcoming US presidential election. And there is an enormous amount of risk for that for dollar CNY in the outcome of that US election. So very quickly we're going to pivot away from worrying about what the Fed's going to do next into the outcome of that election itself. And there is a huge breadth of possibilities for dollar CNY that we could see dollar CNY climbing very, very sharply in the event of Mr. Trump winning that election. Conversely, if Ms. Harris wins, then dollar CNY could fall sharply. And of course, CNY is the anchor for every currency in the region here in Asia Pacific, and consequently, all other currencies will be very sensitive to the outcome of that election too.